All right, enjoyers of artillery madness, we have the map for you. It's Pry Ford. It's a great map. It's a bit of a struggle as the CSA, but well, you know what? That's not always true. If they play it right, they can make it just an absolutely miserable time for the Union and defeat them. It does largely hinge, so this is correct, on this. It is hard to see unless you know it's here. It's weird, but it's just this. We're kind of in the lowest point of this very subtle defilade. Yes, yes, you are. There's this rock outcropping here. The point of contention, again, talk about the subtle undulations in the terrain. The point of contention is pretty much near this clump of rocks, near this lone tree, on this bit of a rise. Giant batteries for the size of the battlefield. It's pretty much just this open field in front of the CSA artillery. That's the CSA spawn, but CSA already is here. The Union tends to come from where those two stars are. Over here is, yes, that is the Union artillery. They were that close to start off. Big batteries on both sides. The Union also has cav on this. So not only do they have sharps, and you can hear the way the sharps shoot different, but as cav, what I think makes them better than the sharp shooters is that they get the pistols as a secondary weapon, rather than slapping a bayonet on the sharps. Those six shooters are brutal. My view is that the way you kind of work cav into melee correctly is to have them be the cleanup crew on your charge. You don't want them out front. I understand the idea, you know, that maybe they could mow down the defenders. Particularly when you have, right, we got 285 already. We could go up to 500. The defenders are going to have some rounds in, and they're going to shoot every one of those cav guys they shoot down. The cav will eventually respawn, but the charge is going to be over. You want those cav guys coming in last. They don't have to get super close to the point where they can't see, because it is smoky and you got bodies flying around, but you want them using those six shooters basically after the defenders have shot their shots. They're in melee. You didn't lose the rock. No, you still got it. CSA is, they are playing the very extreme of what they can do, and that's fine.
At the sprint.
Right? 30 seconds is a resource you can use. You only need 29 of them. But this is basically the idea, is that the CSA tries to hold from the left of this tree, its left of this tree, and then forces the Union, if they want to, into this bowl, which is just, right, artillery is staring down at you, and in the end you gotta come to point to do anything, and the CSA will try to shoot you down before you get there. To compensate a bit, I believe it's, I think Holcomb's Legion is on this map, and I believe the NCOs in Holcomb's Legion might get sharps. But I think that's it. So, that was a nice shot by Union Arty.
Coming in, boys. You're gonna want to hide behind the rocks.
What was that?
Where? Over there. Oh, look at those pussies. Let them charge.
That had...
They should.
there had to be something wrong there with that trail. Oh, yes. This is something I've noticed at the cav weapons, because I noticed it with the CSA on a different map. They don't render in. There he is. He's got his six-shooter finger out, and he's popping off of that. But anyways, they do render in once you get a little bit closer, but it's fine. And you can see so far, yeah, the Union's down about, I don't know, 20%. CSA's down maybe 5 or 10% of their tickets in the battle ready. So as the CSA, this is pretty much the plan. It's not complicated, right? This is kind of exactly what you do, and this has been the meta for months. And yet the Union can still win this map. It's absolutely possible. Here, I thought for a minute the Union was starting to pop. Wow, it really takes a while before you can have some of those sharps render in.
Mine has labels as well. I mean, the little shootout right now.
Let's see. one side over-invested. So CSA already 19 guys for 6 guns. That's an average of a 3-man. All right, so 8 more men for the CSA in Arty. So that means they have that much of a disadvantage in infantry because they're about even. I don't know how many are in the Cav group here. 14? I don't think drummers can pick up flags, can they? But at least you got the drummer in the Cav group. So
I feel like you're not telling the truth.
Oh, and that CSA drummer is just taking off. He's just had it.
Just keep the fire, keep the fire.
Is the Union charging? Is this real? Oh no. They're stepping it. Well, usually I would say the Union feels it has to push up. And sometimes it will try to charge through here. I don't know. I swear as these servers get larger, the benefits to shooting are just massive. The charge tails, if you ever watch them, they just get longer and longer. And so the time between the first in and the last in tends to grow with the server size, as long as it's populated. And that means those who stand get more time to reload and they can shoot down the folks who come in. Never really think of the map as looking like this until I actually get this angle. And these guys are much further away from cap than I think they are. Man, the Union drum budget is going to be under serious pressure this month. This is rough. But for the Union, it's holding pretty steady, and I guess that's kind of all you need. Eventually the CSA Arty, if it keeps barking the whole time, it will run out. I'm a little surprised CSA Arty isn't focusing on the chunkier parts of this line, at least to suppress it, so those guys are knocked down, but maybe it's just a good old-fashioned Arty duel. Let's see. How many are pointed in that direction? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is. Now those CSA guns are aimed at the Union infantry. I tend to think that these days counterbat's kind of a waste of your time because of the poor kill radius, your inability to flip cannons and caissons and that kind of stuff and make them and not disable them, which makes sense because it was getting far too easy to flip caissons, and you could have a situation where, you know, a decent artillery crew who knew what they were doing could disable the other side's guns in 5 or 10 minutes, and then what do you do? I don't know. Is the CSA just completely ignoring the battery down here? Here, we'll go up to CSA Arty and see. I mean, that is kind of the place that has the viewpoint. But maybe the CSA figures, you know, we'll take the one skirmishing, maybe, death per shell that hits. Well, for the ones that hit. And we'll just focus on trying to win the infantry fight, because that's the one that ultimately matters. Go to take the tickets back. It's tough because you don't know if the Union's going to play cap recap. Union certainly could with the tickets this close, but since the CSA is giving... That was very high. Since the CSA... Well, I would say they're giving up at a great clip. It seems like the Union just dumped a bunch of tickets. Am I not seeing a third Union company? I see 2 Union officers over here. But the 2 flags are over here. Alright. I don't know. All of a sudden, CSA seemed like they just were doing much better at shooting than they were before. And they got about 30-40% of our morale stage on the Union. And CSA has slightly more now. Actually, what was I saying before? Yeah, it doesn't matter to the CSA if the Union plays cap recap. The Union are attacking, their tickets can only go down, they can't go up. So, you can peel off as many as you want. It looks like one gun from the CSA, a Napoleon, is going to try to... What on... Oh, that had to be aimed at the CSA lines. Alright. Didn't have to be, but it was. Certainly watch the... Sweet fire line.
Shut the fuck up.
Looks like the Union is not happy with this, or at least one company is rotating. The other is back on this fence. If they want to try to get healthy, probably take even the second fence to get healthy. Give yourself a little bit more cover. I guess this Union group's not going to full rotate. They're just looking to get some cover and concealment. But my goodness, the poor Cav, they can't get their flag up. Well, they're not getting their flag up. And that's what the CSA has presented you with. The old lead wall. I wonder how quickly the CSA is shooting.
Their flag is back here east, brother. There are these bushes back here. Shoot straight
that
down that line.
one is maybe a third full. That one, I'm not counting canister, half.
I just fired 308. That's what I shot. Hit.
Alright. Now they... Napoleons are always going to have less. That looked like a good shot. Certainly for intimidation purposes. I suspect there's a lot of Union on flag, right? And that's one of the downsides on these large maps of having 3 flags. I feel like when the server sizes were smaller, well, we haven't gone above 350 on this, right? No. I feel like on smaller servers, people liked the Sharps and the Cav and all that other stuff because it was a real firepower advantage. But then just the, even with the faster respawn timers and the addition of extra companies and extra flags, this is all over the long term. It just seems like the sides that have 3 flags in a round rather than 4 are sometimes at a disadvantage. There are lots of exceptions, like Hooker's Push. The Union absolutely has a chance to win that if they play it smart. CSA Defenders on Nicodemus, that's one of those weird ones where the defenders have 3 flags, the attackers have 4, but this one is actually still, I think, you know, I'm not sure if it's still attacker favored.
Alright, Cav, let's keep moving, Let's head to the bush there.
There's also been some of these on the new drill camp maps. Okay. So it looks like the Cav here under Duke are going to ride up on their yet-to-be-released horses and maybe look to kill a couple guys coming out of spawn. Right, I guess if you're tired of getting oppressed by artillery, that's something to do.
Charge them. We can't. It's out of bounds. Just stay out of distance.
It's true, but
we're gonna waste a shitload of tickets. Just pump them off at this distance.
Yep, Union will try to harass. Spent enough time in CSA already to tell you it can be harassing. There are simple ways to mitigate it, but usually the CSA doesn't set up to deal with it in advance. Though I will say by taking the Cav out of this fight, it means you have 2 flags in action against 4. If the CSA, they do the math real quick, they realize that this is going to be easy as anything. Well, it should be. Because CSA can push up here, and they can just look to concentrate against one and then the other. Yeah. So the way you deal with this as artillery is you turn the caissons around so the lids are up. Don't bother resetting your guns when they recoil. Just let them keep recoiling backwards so that eventually your caissons are in front of you and they're covering you. You can also call on friendlies to do this, which is to come in the back door and try to wipe them that way. But here, the CSA is happy to put 3 flags into action against, well, it's not even 2 anymore, right? Now that those 2 have fallen back, this group could probably, if they wanted to, also come over here and help. The Cav, apparently their left alt keys don't work because they are going to lose a bunch of tickets here. Their plan, remember, was to cost the CSA some, but by not looking to the right every once in a while, a bunch of them are going to get killed in skirmishing, out of line. They probably popped artillery guys who were in skirmishing or in formation because they were packed in pretty thick. But yeah, as the CSA, there are ways to mitigate that. I mean, you can still fire the gun, right, when it's back here and when those caissons turned around. You can angle them that way, you can angle them that way. But that's really something you'd probably have to do at the beginning of the map and just know that that's what usually happens to you on this map. I'm interested to see that the CSA decided not to pursue this, to go down. All they had to do was take the inside track and cut this group off from retreat, wipe their retreat to spawn. There's only half dozen of them, right? And go from there. But maybe they were feeling a little beat up. We'll see. The Union's almost about to go to taking losses. They're falling further behind in their relative ticket race. They've done okay on burning through the defenders' tickets overall. They got into engaged before 27 minutes. What else? I feel like that's it. I guess maybe this group got thinned out a bit too much from pursuing the Cav. And now the Cav are spending time running rather than being able to shoot, but I guess they got to get healthy. Well, we'll keep an eye on it because it is potentially a source of a lot of out-of-formation deaths. I guess this group is, I don't know. CSA, for its part, can also push up and skirm the Union arty. That was a nice shot from CSA. I'm pretty sure you can comfortably get up to about here without going out of formation, and you can still run up, pop, and run away. And I don't know that you can run up and make it back without dying out of formation, but you could try. Alright, that guy's one with the bush. Alright, and this CSA group has decided they're not going to let the Cav get free and easy kills. This looks like a regular Union infantry company who's going to try to hit these guys in the side. Somebody in the CSA side should be counting flags and realize that they have 3 invested against 1, which is now pulling out, and that means the Union is able to invest 2 against the one that's over here. But that group probably doesn't want to, that Union group probably doesn't want to stay there too long. Just more out of, so, yeah, more Union out of formation, skirmishing, out of line deaths.
Don't use your pistols yet. Save your pistols.
Yep. But as long as those Cav are over here, those Cav pistols will not be able to be used in melee. But I don't think, I really don't think the Union's considering that at this point.
What?
Sorry, boys, I didn't see them on our left. I didn't see those things.
I'll get lower. I see that guy there.
Union arty is still missing at
Here
shots.
they come, here they come.
Well, no. So the Union, this is a
For now.
little bit of a deflate here, but there's rocks here. There's also this rock clumping right here that the Union may try to put themselves in and shoot the CSA from behind. The downside of that is that this, okay, so this CSA group is facing them. These two CSA companies are doing, I think.
The man that knocks it down. There you go.
All right, so they're yeah, they're overkilling that unit there. The Union, this always makes me, if I'm on the Union, this makes me feel a bit weird because you're stuck between the CSA already shooting you in the back, CSA infantry coming from spawn, apparently a CSA infantry company,
Here.
that's now going to shoot you in the back. Wow. And then the CSA infantry that are now kind of the anchors in front of you. So, but it's just a tough nut here for the Union in any way. Yeah, I think the CSA could safely bring an additional company over here. And now they can either press these groups that are up here, or they can make a foray into Union Arty and pick off some out of lines. It looks like they're going to come up here and try to box off the end of this Union line. Maybe put some flanking or enfilade fire on it. I don't know where you go if you're the Union. You've been here for a while. Like, if you go this way, you're going to get trapped against the edge of the map. That looked like TK. And I don't see anybody getting up from that shot. Oh, man. And so I guess they're just going to run the flag out of bounds. Yeah, so they're going to take a bunch of dead here and run their flags out of bounds.
Get a flag out of bounds. Everyone, we're going to die. Everyone, we're going to die here. Pistols out, Cap. Pistols out. Pistols out. Die here. Kill as many as you can.
That's right.
They're all dead. There's nothing to kill.
Yeah. So there is still one Union infantry company, the one that hung back. They're back there trying to get healthy. Yeah, I mean, this is going to take a lot of time off the black timer for the... Actually, not a lot, because they got the flag out of bounds.
Run! Which guy? Oh, this guy.
But, yeah, this is unnecessary. I mean, the CSA can still lose this battle. If you feel like you have a good infantry advantage, again, you could probably bring a company up here, and you could probably suppress the CSA Arty for a while, pick up a bunch of out of formation kills. Might draw the Union over to you, and then if you can kind of pre-plan for other companies that are back here to close the door on them. Whoever was using canister there, canister is effective, but you got to know how to range it. We'll see what the actual numbers look like, but yeah. I don't know, if I were the CSA, I think I would just castle up.
Let's see.
So look, that's how fast those flags respawn. Just got to remind somebody to spawn with the flag. There they go, they got both of them back. And so, yeah, it'll be like a minute or two off the clock, and then they'll be back in action, but... It's a good hit from CSA Arty. And I guess before the next round starts, looks like the Union, at least the Cav, is thinking about coming back here and maybe doing what they just did, but they're down by about 70% of a morale stage.
Look right, look to right. Shift to your hard right, hard to right. Hold on,
So,
hard to right. Hold on, hard
okay.
right, bro, hard right.
That
Hard right.
is just about empty. Just empty. 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 So the CSA Arty is just about done. And the CSA has not yet shifted to address this threat on the right. I don't know. Maybe they're not going off in chat or they're just not communicating, but it looks like both Union companies that were there before are going to come back here again. All right, a second CSA company is coming over to deal with this. Honestly, you could probably bring a third. And you don't really have to fight that group. You just have to stand it off and make sure that it's not able to push the others. And then you can get the Union in this weird formation where they have to line up against you, and then they have to give their flank to your artillery. But your artillery is pretty much down to canister at that. But actually, canister in elevation on the enemy's flank is great. Wow, that is why you don't Rambo. Because the War of Rights God will throw down a thunderbolt and just kill you while you're out of line. Does my heart good. Union in braking. It's almost a full
On my
morale.
line, boys, on my line.
Numbers on the server are even, but we got 345. It's a ting of beauty, man. Alright, but the Union's pulling out of here. This time, mostly with their flags, yeah. That was CSA canister. You gotta love the feel, right? You hit everything around it, but it...
Definitely this update made
Looked good.
a lot harder.
Looked good. Might have been a touch high, but it looked good overall. Alright, CSA back to their positions. Looks like Cav is going to make another foray up to Union's or CSA spawn. You know, I wonder if the devs opened up this part of the map, if it makes it a little bit easier for the Union, right? Because you get in this defilade, and then you come up to the road, and then it's a little bit more feasible for the Union rather than this bloody standoff that, for whatever reason, the Union tend to lose. I think it might have to do with the respawn rates, even though they have more sharps. Superior CSA Arty position to start also probably doesn't hurt. All right, looks like the Cav is now going to go for the bush warfare. That was a great hit. I don't know how many will get up, but it was a great hit. Not that many. Not that many. I wonder what the Union Arty situation is. We know the CSA are just about out. That is not true of that caisson. Not true of that caisson. Largely true of that caisson. Alright, so those are more empty. This one looks like it has a little... Yeah, it's down to canister. So the Union looks like it has more artillery for the late game. I suspect their plan is to,
Do what now?
well, as I was saying, the plan is to probably just try to cap with the CSA in braking. Actually, more than a few Union are going to get into close range here. Like, this is a surprisingly... I don't know if they just lulled... Look at the tail on that, right? From the beginning to the end of that charge. I'm surprised the CSA didn't immediately break reloads and countercharge.
Oh my god, we're gonna get ripped up.
Yeah.
Just head for the tree, head for the tree.
And this group is just standing here watching. You died out of line. There are more than a few out of formation deaths here. It's also happening to the Union here at the end. Man, that cough snuck up on me. And now I'd say the Union is maybe slightly more than a full morale stage behind. Good news, they got at least 2 flags. I didn't know about the Cav flag. I don't see it down, so they must have gotten it out. The CSA, I believe, can push up to or close to this fence here. No, actually, they can push up and they can get on this fence because I've seen them do it. That's the Cav flag, isn't it? No, I thought that Cav flag was smaller. But one of them had a not quite full-on flag. But yeah. So this is about to be terrible for the Union. You're going to go final push. The CSA's 2/3 of the way through taking losses. And once they go final push, they will have a very limited amount of time to do things. I think maybe the CSA, because you only have 2 companies up there, you might... I'm just thinking of the ways you lose this... You know, at this point, at least pull your flag back. If not, pull everyone back. So now we got down to 3 minutes, 26 seconds, whatever it was. And, because the way you could lose would be, right, this group getting wiped, losing their flag, and then the CSA only having 3 flags and 3 companies. But they're still they'd still be in a pretty good position. So, that's mostly CSA. I guess the Union, yeah, they don't quite have the numbers to follow that up yet. Yeah, that's the Cav flag. That's what I mean. It looks just a bit smaller than
Let's go
well,
out
that
and
one.
have some fun, shall we?
That is the name of the game. Make it look good. Have some fun. LARP appropriately.
Right in front of you.
Yeah, the arty guys, they understand what this is all about. Although I don't know why they need those unmanly swords. You just need those manly Q-tips. Ah, yes, the camouflaged anti-tank gun. Wait a minute, this isn't that game. Oh, yes. But notice no one sees the camouflaged gun. Oh, look at that canister. You can always tell canister because everybody falls backwards. They look like
spread it to the right.
it looks like synchronized falling. They just kind of all fall backwards. But I guess the Union's gonna have to Last Samurai themselves, or maybe just not give the CSA the satisfaction. I don't know. CSA is in breaking, so if the Union were somehow to cap, they would win. But the CSA has a serious lead wall going. I don't think this is a terrible idea. I mean, if you're the Union, since you can't flip cannons and caissons anymore, you just push some guns up, put the caissons up with the lids up, just load them with canister for the end. Yeah, you're going to get pounded the whole way in, but let the CSA use up their artillery on that, rather than disrupting your nice infantry lines. I don't really think that would be too useful, but it might be something. Ah, yes. The dank flank. These guys get it. If we're going down, we're going on a one-way trip. And now the ultimate kind of humiliation would be for the CSA to just run back to... Oh my goodness, you missed your shot! After all that! After all that running! Yeah, the CSA should have just ran back to spawn and been like, well... You'll time out by the time you get here. But hey. You gotta go for some kills, man, right? That was kind of cool. Don't tell me that they pulled enough CSA off a point to win. No. No, they didn't. Although... Okay, CSA is countercharging. Alright. That'll do it. That can frequently happen on this map. See what our casualties are, and then we'll call this one a massacre, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that was a rough one. And again, it usually is. The extra outer lines and skirmishing certainly hurt. It put the Union in final push earlier, but yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but sometimes the Union gets it, and those are always fun to watch too.